As you do, I've been assembling myself a nice big list of songs from games to use as background music for future videos. Making more YouTube videos for me is like sailing to the glorious land of opportunity, and these songs are the fuel needed to make that ship run. I had to leave because of the Irish potato famine. But the thing about my ship is that I don't want it to run on just any old normal fuel or oil. I want it to run on I am bread. I am bread? God, I hope so. Here's the thing. One of my biggest YouTuber pet peeves is when I'm watching a scrumptious little YouTube video about some shit like the rise and fall of Jeffrey Epstein, getting all immersed and studious, ready to watch, and then fucking Bone Trazzle starts playing. The Undertale soundtrack is great, don't get me wrong, but it's such an immersion break hearing songs from that game or other shit like Persona 5 or even classics like The Fat Rat, may he rest in peace, because they're so insanely overused. That's why it has become something of a great interest of mine to try and achieve the opposite effect of this, eliciting a strong emotional reaction out of viewers when they hear a beautifully composed piece of background music, a real night out at the opera type deal, only to have that world turned upside down when they figure out that song comes from I am bread. I am bread? God, I hope so. Those 9 months went by so fast. I think one of the first types of games people think of when it comes to this topic are random-ass SNES games, like the beloved Plock. Composed by Tim Follin, the man who pushed the SNES sound chip so close to its limits that it was probably literally on fire. All for fucking Plock. The variation in sound bites and compositions in this soundtrack isn't just impressive, it's just straight up great music. For some of these songs it sounds like they brought Justice or Carpenter Brute into the studio. It's to the point where songs in this game get remixed to sound exactly like that kind of composer. It's so funny. Besides this lovable red rapscallion, Follin also worked in the soundtracks for games like Bionic Commando, Silver Surfer, and the fucking NES game Pictionary.
I don't know what any of this shit is and I'm fucking scared.
And an absolute visionary. If he must die, then I hope his eyes see the kingdom of heaven. But you know, Mr. Follin is an absolute classic of this topic, so if I may ask like the polite girl I am, do you guys want to play Scribblenauts? Scribblenauts is the perfect example of the type of game I'm talking about, since I have not thought about this game since the good old days. God, I remember when we used to not be dirty-minded.
Remember when a rainbow wasn't known as LGBTQ? Remember when saying daddy was normal? What good times.
What strikes me about the Scribblenauts soundtrack in specific though is just how unique it is while managing to still be an absolute Take Anaphora Falls, a level that takes place in this meadow, mountain-type area. Most composers would probably follow their first instinct and choose some mysterious or calming-type song that sentenced them to infinite power. What they fail to consider, however, is can this drummer fucking chill, I need to complete classic retro game hopping. Or if you were appointed the task of making a proper swashbuckling theme for a pirate ship level, you wouldn't have the genius insight David J. Franco had and just go all when you're going in the sea with no weapon, try to open the chest, but the shark kill you first. Fuck, I know, right? Is that Eno from Good to Go? I think musical touches like adding sleigh bells to this theme, for example, little details that are present in most of this game's tracks give me this feeling of childlike enthusiasm. Like, fuck it, the Swamp theme gets a beautiful Fat Oak Stawn melody, I'm only 4 years of age. It feels like a child picking up their favorite random instrument and putting it into the most random ass track and just completely making it work. The definitive example for this, I think, is in the track for Vowelcano, What a clever pun, oh my lord, conservative comedy really does go anywhere. No other game would have the balls to put in their volcano-level theme, an electric guitar, a flute, and a gorgeous saxophone solo. God, every time I hear that theme, it just makes me go rabid. Rabbids Go Home is another good example, like Scribblenauts, where the soundtrack is less something that is randomly really amazing but out of place, and more the absolute perfect fit that the OST could have taken. The whole soundtrack is composed by La Fanfare Vagabondoule, with this insane, frantic big band thing going on. The composition is so messy, the instruments often start playing over each other in these super rampant tempos, but it never feels unprofessional or anything, it's perfectly controlled chaos. The most well-known song off the whole thing is Batuta din Moldova, which pretty perfectly shows this off. But you could grab basically any song out of the soundtrack and say the same thing about each. These French boys went hard. This soundtrack is so good, in fact, that according to Rate Your Music, it is the best Balkan brass band album ever made. The classic music nerd albums, OK Computer, Pink the Butterfly, Rabbids Go Home. I also really love how they find... Oh, sorry, I'm getting a call. It's my boss. Uh-huh. Well, no, it's just... No, listen, boss. The pregnancy gag was essential. I couldn't cut it. Boss, please. No, I need this job. No, please, I'll do anything. Sorry. Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to raise my voice. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, I will. Yeah, I'm sorry. Okay. I love you too. Ace Combat is a war-plane simulator game series. Big whoop! If I wanted to experience a plane-related tragedy, I would just think back to that horrible day. This is seemingly just a stupid little game series about flying in jacked-up gun planes and shooting them and maybe finding true love? I don't know, I haven't played the games. Maybe it does have plain yaoi in it. So tell me what fucking scenario occurs in these games for a song like this to be needed. Windlord of Cinder just flies in with a little dog-fighting plane. If I heard the Archange theme start playing during combat, I'd start reciting some W.B. Yeats shit.
I know that I shall meet my fate, somewhere among the clouds above. Those that I fight I do not hate, those that I guard I do not love.
It gives me the impression that these games are essentially just plain Souls-likes, which is one of the coolest game concepts I've ever heard. Even though the newer games in the series have all of these super cool, orchestral, phenomenal themes, I also wanted to shout out some of the earlier games too. Like, listen to Fire Youngman from Ace Combat 2, it's really good. Okay, I know you're watching this, Victor, and I know you don't care about planes or bread or any of that gay shit. Here are the jingling keys.
Jingle, jingle, jingle.
Let's talk about Pokemon. Pokemon is famous for having some really great soundtracks. Some of the songs from these games are some of their most enduring aspects, like Cynthia's Champion theme or Dragon's Den from Gold and Silver. The composer did not need to go this hard, dude. Oh my god. But that's all main series stuff. With a series as big as Pokemon, it's no surprise that there are a ton of spin-offs that are usually just kinda... I'm sorry to say that the Pokemon Picross soundtrack does not go hard. I'm so sorry, we have to pull the plug on him. A lot of the same can apply to Learn with Pokemon, Typing Adventure. Like, it's generally a fine soundtrack, a few good tracks here and there, but mostly your standard Nintendo DS soundtrack affair. Then they pulled this shit. I don't even know how to type on a keyboard normally. I'm not ready for this. This is what the game looks like, by the way. You do not need to be pulling all this shit for fucking Virizion. Okay. I have a fun idea. Sorry, the baby's kicking. We're gonna play a little game. A game show, if you will. I'm gonna play a theme, and you have to guess what game it's from out of the 4 I show you. Each correct question nets you 1 Snurp point. These can be exchanged for various goods at a later date. Don't cheat or I'll die during childbirth.
Lei inis go cuaramach de scrúd fápéir, na tróiricha agus na ceistena a rán le cuid a.
What a fun game. I'm so happy we get to spend this time together. You mean so much to me. These are just a few examples of unreasonably good game soundtracks that I could find. It's a really fascinating topic to me. Although, I guess making this video kind of ruins the whole reason I started looking for these soundtracks in the first place, cause like, I've shown my hand now. Next time I play a song from Muddy Heights 2, you're all gonna point and laugh at the screen. We know your trick, Sophie. I got all 5 Snurp points. I'm better than you. Oh, mamma mia. What am I gonna do now? What can I use for background music now? The contractions have begun.
Ay, caramba!
She has her mother's face. Died 2024, born 2024. Welcome back, the fat rat.